Okay, I think everybody is fine and cool, and you should take up since you are what do you call, you are becoming more and more responsible for not only your family members but also your society. So first, first you have to take care of your parents, your and grandfather, grandma. Those are very aged people mainly. To take care of them, not only for yourself but also for your other older age people. Keep in mind that you are here because of them. Okay, that you should keep it in mind. And one thing I told you that uh, a society is human human life. Without society, you cannot live. Okay. Oh, there was a gossip, not gossip. There was a small story about. Uh, okay, by this time, I think we should a short story. I read it from I think some foreign one book. Okay, that a story says that one man in a village, he tried to become very rich of this village. Okay, so he tried and getting a lot of money. Then he tried to buy all the land about the village. Certainly, he achieved that. When after that is a long story that I'll tell you the gist. When he found that nobody is remaining in the village, then he find very difficult to run his own family because of a lot of scarcity, lot of work hold people, and a lot of communities they cannot communicate. There's nobody is there in the village. He purchased entire village. Then he realized what was the necessity of a society, why you should need each other's help. Okay, that is the story says about without your society, you cannot live. Maybe someone is very poor in your society, but without them, we are we are actually associated to each another. Okay, you are learning, you are becoming the engineers. You will give the support to them in other way. You will give the technical support. You will advise them in a different way so that their livelihood can be better than before. Okay, so this is the society, and you might be amazed to listen that the first class. Okay, someone is waiting to for the calculation. Okay, so this actually you are becoming an engineering graduate from very prestigious institute like Zenith University. After that, you will get a great job, and definitely look after your parents. Okay, so what is the benefit of the society? What is to return to the society? That is to be remembered. Why to return to the society? Because of that, the how much money you are paying for 4 years to the university. Okay, very uh, small amount of money, very small amount of money you are paying. But who is paying the other money? That means to run a university, then there are salaries of different people, professors and non-teaching staffs and laboratories. Okay, that each one of you actually gaining the. I think you all of you know the how much money is needed to needed to be graduated from a uh, uh, private institute that you are aware of. Okay, how much money is needed to come out from a private institute? That is a huge amount of money. Okay, so who is paying this money? Everybody. Those uh, parents, those children are not able to go to the school. They are also paying for you. You have to remember this. So return to society is a must for all of you. If you get chance, if you get time, definitely do something for the society. When you stand up, I'm not telling you should do it now, but you should keep it in mind when you will be. when you will be self-sufficient, that means you are self-supported, okay, financially self-supported, then you can think of, definitely you will not avoid your parents. Those who will avoid their parents, they cannot do anything for the other people, definitely. Okay. Your parents is your present God, that you remember. Okay, Shattam, shall we start now? Somodip, what do you say? Somodip, can you hear me?
Sir,
Is it
me?
audible? Huh.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, shall we start or wait for some time? Because I think how many?
Sir, I think we
Oh,
should start.
24 people have joined.
24.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Shattam, keep the record of today's attendance.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. See, last what I discussed about, you have watched the videos. I think you are aware of, because this thing. I think within this I think 1 or 2 years, definitely this year you have to spare for the offline class. So probably at the end of this year, or initial of your next year, probably will meet you all to show the all laboratories, and we'll rediscuss about their physical understanding. Hopefully, we'll do that. Okay, that we're hoping to God that virus will go up soon, and we'll be able to see each other and do our laboratories work. Then we'll discuss, because there are certain things I discuss and it is very difficult to remember and difficult to know about it. Okay, let us start. Last class, is there any question from the last class? I was talking about the different ways to make a nut. So you have to make a nut, complete nut. That is the first job. Okay, that up to that hexagonal shape was given to you and shampering was done. Then one part is left about the internal threading. That was left. That I will complete it today. And today there will be the end of the our first assignment. That means your that cutting. That means cutting section and this thing. Okay. So this is fitting part. That is fitting. Then we'll go for the next class. We'll go for welding. So today we'll discuss about how to create an internal hole. Okay. Now the hexagonal solid shape that you have achieved. Okay.
Sir, someone is trying to join.
Okay. No one is asking me. Let them ask me to join. Then I will do it. Otherwise, I cannot do it. Okay. Ask him to put a request to me. Then I will do it. Okay. So. Okay, now how to create an internal hole before you cut, before you see, this is completely a internal threading. Threading is probably somewhat done in your drawing classes, or if it is not yet done, then I'll discuss something about what is the different kind of threading. Probably the last class I told you what are the different types of threading. Here we'll do only the P thread. But there are some nuts, there are some screws which have a square thread, and a square thread nut also is available for the high performance, for the high power transmission. That part is needed. That you will learn later on also. What is a square thread? Now the V-shaped thread. probably about the thread I will not discuss about, because this is will be done in your drawing classes. Now, before before making the thread, first you have to make the hole. Now, how to make the hole? That is the main thing. See, first you have to make the center of the uh, circumferential circle of the hexagon. Okay, that was that was done in the previous class. That how it, that you had made a mark on that marking on that hexagonal center. Okay, one side is necessary to make a mark, that with a marker or the identer, that you could you have seen the videos how it is made the marking. Okay, now this marking, how can you make a hole through this marking? What is the operation to do this? Listen, there are different type of operations that I told you. One is drilling, another is boring, then there is reaming and honing. There is four type of processes are there. Okay, so different process has different meaning and different way out. Okay, so there are, so all the process may not be applied in the applied for them. It depends on the engineering requirements, depend on the design requirements. It is necessary, not for all. Why not for all? Because maybe that, oh, for the nut, it it may not be so. Okay, if I discuss it on the different operations, then you will understand why it is not necessary some of the cases, and why it is necessary for the cases. Okay, so first you have to make the small drill. So all identer is there, marking is there. So on boring tool is the multi cutter tool. Boring tool, boring tool is a single cutter, single cut, and your uh, drill tool is a multi cutter. Remember, single cutter, multi cutter. On the university is open, the physically I will show you what is how it is boring tool and what is drill tool. Okay, first you have to make a drill hole of a small diameter. First you have to make a drill hole with a small diameter. Then that is the first operation is done by the drill. The next operation you can use the boring. Boring is actually to enlarge the existing diameter or existing hole or pre-hole material. Suppose the hole is there already by the casting, so there is no drilling operation is not required. So directly you can go for boring. Boring is done to enlarge the existing hole. Okay, is that clear to all of you? Then honing and reaming. Honing and reaming both are used to finish the internal surface very smooth. That means while boring or while drilling, directly without boring, only after drilling you can go for reaming. Reaming process, reaming and honing will be done to the external, the internal surface, very finished product. That means internal surface will be very smooth. Okay, that is done. See, all the cases, for all the cases, it is not necessary to make it so clean, especially for the nuts. See, any operation if you perform, that takes extra labor charge and extra machining work. So that will account in the final economy of the product. So you have to remember, wherever it is necessary, then only that honing and reaming will be done. Otherwise, if it is not required, it will not do it, because it is associated to the economy of the product. You have to remember. As an engineer, you have to look into the other factors. Okay, first probably machine design on when you will be in the second year, first semester, probably coming semester. Then you'll understand why, what is the design criteria, that means design recommendations. Okay, so that then they will tell you about this. Now, once the hole is created, now suppose a drill hole, a small drill, then you can use the another drill to enlarge this. Especially you can use the drill also, but drilling is not normally used to enlarge the hole. Okay, because this is a multi cutter. So single cutter will give the smooth surface, not the multi cutter. Surface finish will be better. Okay, now and as it is required, you can what happened to Sattam is left out. What happened to him? Probably the network problem. Okay. Anyway, so this a single cutter boring will be done then that diameter will be that is the that is not the core diameter, that is the diameter of the that will be the diameter of the bolt. Remember, that is the diameter of the bolt. Now when I will start to make the internal threading, okay, now that let me finish about this part. What are the tools used for making the internal thread? That probably you've seen it in your videos, that on tapping, TAPPING, tapping tool or thread cutting tool, both are used. Normally we will call tapping tool, TAPPING, tapping tool. It is tapping tool. Sometimes it is called tapping tool also. Okay. So this tap tool will first introduce that you can use manually, you can use by the machine also. But since this operation is completely done by the manual work, that is, we will not discuss about the machining process. So how to, when that you have seen it, first you have to use your job, put your job on the vice. Okay, on the bench vice is there, isn't it? So on the bench vice you will put or anvil. So on the anvil, if you put it on the job, tight it properly, make it upside down, that means it is vertically upward. Then from the top, on the hole, you will pass a tapping tool. Tapping tool will have the internal thread, external thread. Tapping tool, the surface of the tapping tool, if you you have to imagine it, because I cannot show it now. If it is possible for the next class, I will be able to show it on the tapping tool. Okay, I think you have seen it in the video, how it looks. Now, once you use this tapping tool and try to rotate it, now it depends on what type of threading you are making. If it is a single start or it is a multi-start. Now, what is single start, what is multi-start, and what is right hand threading or what is left hand threading? There are few more things are also associated with this. Left hand threading, right hand threading. Okay, sometimes you have seen some fasteners. Some fasteners are used. Some to attach the two components. You can use by left hand threading or by right hand threading. Right hand threading, mostly you are using the right hand threading. So left hand, if left hand or right hand both are present, that you cannot tighten it. Okay. So that you have to be necessary. Because probably that is the complete theory part. I think probably it will understand later on once the real operation is come up. I think there are some operation you have seen it, that if you turn the screw clockwise, what it happens normally? What it happens? It tightens, isn't it? And if you turn the nut anti-clockwise, it opens up. Okay, that is right hand threading. Now, for the left hand threading, for tightening it, you have to just opposite to do it. You have to turn, that means anti-clockwise, then it will tighten, and if you turn clockwise, that it will open up. Okay, there are the very less use, but probably those who have seen the blade of the fan or table fan, let's say table fan. Table fan, when you attach, when you open the blade, okay, uh, that with the motor, first to fix with the motor, the blade, insert the blade. Then there is another type of uh, another type of nut type things. That is, if you turn right side, that means it will open up. If you turn left side, okay, it will, sorry, if you turn right side, it will just do opposite to that. That means it will not open. So that type of use is very less, but it is there. You have to remember that is left and right hand, both are being used. Now, what is single start? What is multi start? Multi start means could be double start, it could be triple start, but it could not be fourth time start, on a fifth start, fourth start, sixth start. It's not possible. It is not possible. But why? Why I cannot answer you now, because a lot of things to be discussed about this. Probably if time is permitted, then I'll discuss about why multi start, why not double start. Mostly you will find the single start. Okay, there are some mechanical advantage and disadvantage for this single start and multi start, that you will understand it. Okay, why some of the cases will be single start, and some other cases will have the double start or triple start. There is a fourth start. Why? So that probably will come to know later on. And if you have time for you outside the class, then you can ask me. Okay. Now, once boring is completed, suppose in your case that you had made, you will be making the single start internal threading. Okay, and that bolt was pre-made. That once bolt was given to you, that threading part of this bolt will be then your product. That means once you make the nut, that you have to see whether it is completely done or not. So whole diameter, that means diameter of the dia of the bolt will be the dia of the boring hole. Okay, dia of the bolt will be the dia of the boring hole. Is it so? Then can you fix it now? Will it be okay? If it is the dia of the boring hole, any answer? Anybody will answer to that? No one. Whether this bolo.
Sir, bolun question.
Question is that if I make the boring diameter and your bolt diameter, if they are same, what will happen?
বোল্টের ডায়ামিটারটা তো একটু মানে বড় রাখতে হবে, কারণ থ্রেডের সময় কমে যাবে, আর ওটা ডায়ামিটারটা তো বাড়বে, মানে বেড়ে যাবে এর সময়, থ্রেডিং এর সময়।
Exactly. Bolt diameter is little more. Bolt diameter and the root diameter যেখানে threading আছে, when to make the thread, that means some material is removed. It is helical thread you are making. Okay, once the helix on is called the helix angle. It depends on the helix angle, will depend on the single start or multi start. Okay, I'm discussing about this part. That part will probably second year will discuss about this. Okay, single start, multi start. Now the helix, the on turn will make on helix. On helix angle you can make it by the tangent of this, and the diameter will be the base, so you can make the helix angle. It depends. Okay, how much you will make it. So helix angle will change if you make the single start. If you make the double start, the helix angle will change. Okay, that will later on you will understand it. Now, once you use the die, turn it. You have to turn clockwise. Turn the clockwise to cut the internal thread. So there are, for the single cut you cannot make it. For single cut you cannot make it. There are multi-cut is required. Okay, multi-cut is required. So what are the multi-cut? First you use the smaller die, then gradually you change the die. Gradually you change the die to extend the die diameter. Then gradually this hole will, that means the internal cut will be more and more. With a single die you cannot make the internal threading. Okay, you have to go for the number of cuts, at least 3-4 times. But that means you have to use the 3-4 die of the different diameter that you use to get the proper diameter. Okay, so once it is cut, then you have to see whether it is properly made or not. Then you use a bolt and to see whether it is fine or not. Okay, so that you have to see. So that you have to see whether you are cutting properly or not. That you have to see. Okay, so definitely once the product is made, once the product is made to you, then you have to see its operation. Okay, now let me tell you about the tools which have been used for different process. Okay, different process that I told you. You have to know each and every operation and their tools. Okay, drill process is done. Normally it is called the drill tool, or sometimes it is called the drill. Boring tool is also called the tool, and it is for your case you will be knowing it as the boring tool. And reaming and honing is also the different kind of tools to smooth the internal surface. Okay, that I told you. Okay, so just a moment, please. Sorry for the interruption. So, okay. Pranay Shur, what happened to him? Pranay, what happened to you so far? Why you are late? Pranay, can you hear me?
Sir, yes. Sir, I had no internet. I joined using my Wi-Fi. My mobile data doesn't work.
Oh, okay. It happens to me also. Sometimes I got very bad impression from the internet, so I could not run the class for the long time. So and someone is okay. Lift up. Now, Pranay, whatever been discussed, you talk to your friends that I already talked, and
Yes, sir. I will see the class recording.
yeah. Now, once the nut is complete, one thing you have observed, and one thing I have told to you, that any operation if you do to make any component, say for the nut you are making, one thing you have to make it is about the economy of this. That means which operation is required, which operation is not required, and if you do that, if you perform that operation, that means additional charge, the additional cost will associate to this. That means the final cost of this product will increase. Okay, that you have to remember. Now, tell me whether chamfering work is will be done or not. Chamfering. Do you remember the chamfering work? Previous class I discussed about. Anybody will answer? Chamfering work was necessary or not? Anybody? Amudeep? Jagdish? You speak something? Shayab, what happened to you? Shayab?
Sir, I forgot.
Okay. Probably drawing class you will learn about the shimpering. When you do the drawing class of the complete knot, you have to draw. Probably the next semester you have to do it. Okay. Then you will learn this shimpering. Shimpering is done. That means when the hexagon is completed. Okay. So with the top surface is hexagonal, isn't it? On the C from the top, it is hexagonal, and there are very sharp edges on the top surface, while that each side that means in the hexagonal shape, okay, that the top corner will make the very sharp edge, okay, that may be very sharp for to make you hurt, okay, to make you injury when you use the manual work. Okay, so top surface, you just remember something is cut, hexagonal thing is cut, and it is no shimpering is done. So that hexagonal ribs will be very sharp enough to make you injury while you handle without care. That means handle with manual work. Okay, not using any tool. So you may get injured. So top surface is the cut. That means when it is cut 30 degree with the axis of the nut. So 30 degree with the axis of the nut, it is been cut. A small portion is been cut to make it somewhat blunt. Okay, top one side. Now, do you need the both side to be chamfered? Do you need the both sides should be chamfered? Chamfering. Did you understand the chamfering work?
হ্যাঁ স্যার দুদিকেই তো করা উচিত, মানে ওটাও তো হাতে লাগতে পারে নিচের পথটা।
আচ্ছা, তোমরা যদি এটা if you do not follow or do not understand, then I want to show you by drawing. Is it understood to everyone? Otherwise, I will not show it.
Yes, sir. You can show, sir.
Okay, then wait for 5 minutes. I'll attach the graphics card, and we'll be able to do it. Okay, just wait for 5 minutes. Okay, sorry. Today I cannot show it because that graphics card, that card is in my car, that in my garage. Then it will take for a long time to go down and open the garage and to get it up. So definitely, we're starting on the first class. The next time I will show you. Okay, definitely I will show you before we start the class. Definitely will show you what is chamfering work and how it is to be done. Okay, now the question is, those who have understood, the question is why both side is necessary or not. Shayok?
Yes, sir.
Both side is necessary. See, I told you.
Yes, sir. Both sides is necessary, I think.
Both side is. Then I told you, if you go for any machining operation, that will associate it to some external, the additional cost to this. That means if you go for the chamfering top and bottom, if it is necessary, that you have to do it. But if it is not necessary, then why should you do it? If you do it, then extra charge will be there. If you don't, that means charge will be reduced. So have you seen when you tighten a nut, okay, Okay, someone is Priyanshu Mandal. Like, why is so left? Priyanshu, what happened to you? Priyanshu, what happened to you? You are late. Late. Priyanshu Mandal, can you hear me? Priyanshu, is it audible to you?
Sir, he is writing that his network is very poor.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Today my network was very poor. I couldn't join first.
Okay. 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 Now, again, forgot. What I was discussing about? Oh, the Shempani. Why both side is not necessary. See, when you do the simple work at home, suppose tightening something, not the smaller bolt, suppose 16 mm or 20 mm nut. See, there are some standards. If you go to the shop and ask the shopkeeper, please give me 16 mm or 15 mm or 70 mm nut, he will be say no, I don't have. If you go for 20 mm nut, he will say I don't have. Why he will say don't have? Because this is not there, not available in the market. Some standard size is there. If you go for 10 mm, if you go for 16 mm, 20 mm, 24 mm, 30 mm, then he will be say okay, I have. But in between, you don't have, because it is not the standard size available. So if any design it comes closer to you, you have to go for the higher one. Okay, that will be discussed in your drawing classes also when the machine design all is started. Now, what normally if you have done any kind of tightening work, tightening something with the nut and bolt, I think many of you have done it. So you have seen how to rotate this. Which side is attached to the object? That means the nut, which side will be attached to the object and which side will be outside. Okay, which will be attaching to the object. I think that part is not necessary to shampering it. Is it necessary? Because mostly you will not touch that side. Mostly the hexagonal part, you have to hold the hexagonal part such a way that one part of the nut, that means out of your, that means when you are holding it with your 5 fingers or 4 fingers, just try to remember with 3 or 4 fingers how do write a pen. When you write, how do you hold a pen? Okay, just you hold a nut like this. Okay, the which is outside of your finger, that portion, is it necessary to chamfer that part? Is it necessary, or anybody else? Is it necessary?
No, sir.
It is not necessary. Okay, definitely it is not necessary. So definitely will not do. But there are certain things you need both sides to be chamfered. Okay, let's say a lock nut. A lock nut will have very smaller height. Okay, lock nut, I will tell you why it is. There are some
Lock
nuts
nut.
which is,
Sir,
yeah.
what is lock nut?
That I know that question will arise, but how can I tell you about the lock nut? Okay, for the next class I'll draw it and tell you. Okay, so once you have asked that question, I do not know whether it will be completely understood to you or not. Okay, let me say something about the lock nut. A nut, 2 nuts will be attached when something to be tightened very fast and the nut should not come out. Then 2 nuts are used, not a single nut. One is called main nut, another is called the lock nut. Okay, first you have to use the main nut, then outside you have to use the lock nut. Okay, then the lock nut, the height of the lock nut is smaller than the main nut. That height is normally the half of the diameter of this. The height of the main nut, that is a nut, complete nut, not the lock nut, general nut. That I told you height will be about 0.7 or 8 D. That I told you. Do you remember, all of you? Probably when the drawing class, with the next semester drawing class will be over, that you'll understand that. You need not ask me, okay, what is that? Okay, so that height of the lock nut is smaller than that. Okay, that explanation will be done. There's a long explanation about it. Why, how it locks, that takes, then I have to go for the how to call your dynamics part also. Okay, that is strength of material. Strength of material is class is done or not? Strength of material, anybody?
ইয়েস স্যার চলছে।
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, চলছে।
চলছে?
Yes, sir, মানে চলছে মানে শেষ হতে যায় আর কি।
Okay. You see the different force. Okay. Now I like to ask one question, very common question. That question I asked in an interview where the professor or another institute, the professor recruitment, I was invited as an external expert. Okay, I asked the same question which I am going to ask you. Okay, they could not answer properly. Okay, anyway, the question is, what is the difference between pressure and stress? Dimensionally both are same, having the same dimension.
স্যার
Is-
প্রেসার ইজ
প্রেসার তো স্কেলার আর
আর স্ট্রেস তো টেন্সার।
No, it is not a scalar. Both are vector quantities.
তো প্রেসার তো মানে একটা পয়েন্টে সব দিকে অ্যাক্ট করে,
প্রেসারটা
আর
স্কেলার।
টেন্সার তো স্যার মানে
No, it is scalar. No, it is not a scalar. It is vector quantity. Both are scalar quantity. Both are vector quantities.
মানে হাইড্রোস্ট্যাটিক প্রেসারটা হচ্ছে স্যার, মানে ওটাকে স্কেলার দেওয়া হয় কারণ হাইড্রোস্ট্যাটিক প্রেসারটা হচ্ছে যে কোনো জায়গাতে ডিরেকশনটা হচ্ছে মানে ইয়ে হয়ে যায়, মানে সেলফ কম্পেনসেট করে যায়। ওই কারণে হাইড্রোস্ট্যাটিক প্রেসারটাকে অনেক জায়গায় স্কেলার বলে, কিন্তু প্রেসার অ্যাকচুয়াল ভেক্টর কোয়ান্টিটি।
আচ্ছা, আমি আউট অফ দ্য ক্লাস আমি
প্রেসারটা তো মানে কোনো কিছুর কারণ ছাড়াই তৈরি হয়, কিন্তু মানে স্ট্রেসটা তো হচ্ছে ডিফরমেশনটা হবে তারপরে তৈরি হবে।
না, তা না হতে পারে, স্ট্রেস সবসময় হতে পারে। আচ্ছা, আমি একটু তোমাদের you have come through the joint entrance examination. You have done the physics, okay, basic physics. You have done the Newton's laws. What is Newton's law? Newton's second law কি বলে? What it is said? বলবে what is the Newton's
Sir,
second law?
ইকুয়েশন
Law
এ
of
এক্সটার্নাল
conservation
ইকুয়াল
of
টু
momentum.
আবার বলো।
Law of conservation of momentum.
হ্যাঁ, proportional to
Force is proportional to the rate of change of momentum.
force. Okay.
Yes.
Force. A force. What kind of force? ভালো করে আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড করো, ভালো করে বোঝো ব্যাপারটাকে। ফোর্স যেখানে wherever force is there, but acceleration may not be there. Rate of change of momentum may not be there, but force is there. Remember, এটা কি জানো? You have said
হ্যাঁ স্যার,
যেটা the lawটা, that second Newton's second law is not that. That's what you have said. Okay, rate of change of momentum is proportional to the net force acting on that. If you don't say the net force, if you say the applied force, that is a wrong statement. Will not allow you. Okay, now what kind of force? What is the net force? That is what you have seen in your ACES book. That is completely wrong. That's what you have studied. You have to understand the reality of it. Suppose rate of change of momentum is 0. Okay, but force is there. If you apply a force in your home wall, okay, but you are applying a force. So what is the change in momentum? There is not a change in momentum. Then what is that law? Okay, in that case the net force is 0. Is it? Okay. If sometime later on I will tell you about all this, but you have to understand it. What type of force, that different type of force are associated to this. When you apply something,
নেট ফোর্স তো স্যার অ্যাক্সেলারেশনের উপরেও জিরো স্যার, মানে সিউডো ফোর্স।
then net force is 0, that is acceleration 0. If you don't say the net force, the Newton second law is not valid. ওকে
স্যার মাসলেস হলে
না না না, মাস কখনো জিরো হতে পারে না। মাস ইজ জিরো। ক্যান ইউ ইমাজিন এ মাসলেস বডি? ওকে,
স্যার যদি লাইটের ভেলোসিটিতে কোনো একটা পয়েন্ট যদি মুভ করে,
whatever massless, even you know the mass of a electron is there. Electron একটা মাস আছে।
স্যার এরকম একটা হাইপোথেটিক্যাল সিচুয়েশন তো হতেই পারে যেখানে পার্টিকেলের ভেলোসিটি আর লাইটের ভেলোসিটি সমান।
It's negligible ধরি, that mass is negligible, that is not zero.
স্যার লাইটের ভেলোসিটিতে মুভ করলেও তো একটা কাইনেটিক এনার্জি থাকবে, আর এনার্জি থেকে সি স্কয়ার দিয়ে ভাগ করলে তো স্যার মানে মাস তো থাকবে কি স্যার?
কেন তুই ওর ফর্মটা দেখে করে দেখ, থিওরি অফ রিলেটিভিটির যে ফর্ম আছে m = m0 1 - √c² / v², ওই ফর্মটা v²/c², ওই ফর্মটা বসিয়ে দেখ কি আসে।
হ্যাঁ ওটা তো ওই জন্যই তো বলা হয় যে মাস থাকলে সি তে যেতে পারবে না, ওই জন্যই তো
ওটাই তো বলে সি স্পেসে যেতে পারবে।
ঠিক ঠিক।
কখন
এইবার দেখো এইবার এই যে ফোর্স, the different kind of force, when you apply a wall, you are applying a force, definitely you are applying a force, but wall does not remove. Okay, but what happens to the wall if you stress a rubber? Okay, it is just elasticity, just a chapter you have done it or not, probably the elasticity completely. If you are stressing a rubber, what happens? It expands so easily. That means the resisting power of your applied force by the rubber is very less. Am I clear? Shayok, is it clear to you? Yeah. Now,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
if you try to extend the iron rod, consider iron rod. If you try to extend it, you can't do it. But same force you apply for the rubber, you can extend it. But once in the rubber there is a deformation, someone is talking about the deformation. So that is the temporary deformation in the rubber, and in the iron rod there is no deformation, but there is no stress in the iron rod. Definitely there is a stress in the iron rod. Now, stress is the opposing force by the material divided by the area of the cross section is called the stress. Remember, don't make a mistake. Opposing force by the material, it is not the applied force. Remember, it is the opposing force by the material by per square area is called, cross section area is called the stress. Is it clear now?
মানে স্ট্রেসটা হচ্ছে
ওটাই তো বললাম আমি, মানে
Opposing force, exactly.
আর
Opposing
প্রেসারটা হচ্ছে আমরা এটা
হ্যাঁ স্যার
apply করি,
ওটা তো স্যার ওটাই তো বললাম স্যার, মানে ডিফরমেশন না হলে তো ওই অপোজিং ফোর্স তো কোনোদিন আসবে না, কারণ কি এফ বাই এ বাই ডেল এল বাই এল তো
না ডিফরমেশন নাও হতে পারে, বাট স্ট্রেস ইজ দেয়ার। ডিফরমেশন নাও হতে পারে, ডিফরমেশন হতে হবে কে বলেছে? তুমি দেখো স্ট্রেস স্ট্রেন রিলেশনশিপটা ভালো দেখো, স্ট্রেস স্ট্রেন রিলেশনশিপ। If you go for the stress strain relationship in the curve for the different material,
হ্যাঁ স্যার ওটা তো অরিজিন দিয়ে পাস করে, তাহলে
হ্যাঁ,
আপনার ডিফরমেশন জিরো হলে তো স্ট্রেস জিরো তো হচ্ছেই, তো সেটা দেখা যাচ্ছে।
না অরিজিন তো সেটা তো জিরো হবেই, যেখানে কোনো ফোর্স নেই সেখানে তো জিরো হবেই।
স্যার ও নরমাল হুকস লটাকে দিয়ে বলছে যে ওই স্ট্রেস
হ্যাঁ নরমাল হুকস ল দিয়ে বলছে, বাট ইট ইজ নট।
মানে সেটা দিয়ে অ্যাকচুয়ালি স্ট্রেস ডিফরমেশন হলে স্ট্রেস হওয়া উচিত নয়।
ওকে অ্যাপ্লাইড মেকানিক্স উইল ডিসকাস সাম আদার ক্লাস, তাহলে সময় চলে যাবে, আমাকে আবার 9টার মধ্যে ছাড়তে হবে ক্লাসটা। তাই হোক, অন্যদিন আমরা ডিসকাস করবো। এবার আমরা চলে যাই প্রেসার। হোয়াট ইজ প্রেসার? Pressure is the pressure force on the surface of the material. Pressure force on the surface of the material in per unit area is called the pressure. Okay, is the pressure force by area. Remember, both are not same, dimensionally equal. Both are vector quantities, but they are not same. Okay. Now, এইবার দেখো, we are talking about the lock nut. How it is been locked. If you, that means lock means it is what to call, it is tightening. It is not tightened that way. Okay, next class I will show you, when I will draw it, I will show you how it locks. Okay, next class I will show you how a locking nut works and how it reality, then stress will come. Definitely stress will come. Function of stress will come. Okay, it is due to the stress. Okay. Now, what type of stress? Some is called the direct stress, some is called the residual stress. Residual stress, probably about the residual stress that will come later on, what is called the residual stress. It is called the pre-stressing. Some material is given the pre-stressing. Okay, that means how pre-stressing is done. Probably time to time you will learn about it. Okay, probably the next class I will tell you about the what is pre-stressing and all that. See, you are going to be the mechanical engineer. Remember, see, you can, if you learn properly, if you learn everything, there may be a lot of mistakes you will commit, but lot of mistakes. Someday the right path will be shown to you. Okay, the engineers, remember, an engineer can destroy a big thing, can destroy a country, but not a doctor. Doctor can destroy only a single body, but you can destroy a lot of bodies. Okay, remember. So learn each and every. See, I may not know all the thing, but there are some people, there are some professors. Okay, if I do not know, I'll ask. You ask the question, any question. Definitely, I'll try to answer. If I don't know, definitely I'll take the help from others. And similarly, it is not. See, one poem was there. If you in the childhood, probably it is written by Nirmolendu Boshu or something, or Sen. Bishwajora Patshalamur Shabar Ami Chhatro. Okay, it is like that. You can learn from your sisters and brothers. Okay, those who are in kid enough, you can learn from them. Okay, it is not. See, everybody is your teacher. Everybody is your master, and everybody you can teach also. Okay. No one can teach you. That is said by your Tuldu. So there are a lot of questions will arise regarding the engineering, different operations and work. If you arise any such questions, probably it is so early in your first year, when you will go for the second year end or third year initial, then definitely a lot of questions will arise, because then some theoretical portion will be very clear to you. Then definitely some other questions will be arise to you. Then we'll discuss about it. That is not the right time to disclose all the things. Okay. So, is there any question from your side? Is there any question? Any question?
স্যার একটাই কোশ্চেন, যে এগুলো সব পরবর্তী হাতে কলমে শিখতে পারবো তো?
কোনটা আবার বলো।
এই যে এভরিথিং ইউ হ্যাভ,
কলেজ কবে খুলবে স্যার?
See, I used to go 3 days in a week to the department. Okay, sometime I was alone in the department. You will amazed to listen. I was amazed to the department. It looks like the ghost area. Okay, when I will come out from the department, okay, and I'll open the door. There is no one. There is some dogs are there roaming around. No man. Just remember. So sometimes I was getting afraid. So no one is there. So even then, I used to open the lock, open the main door, go inside my room in the first floor. It is when I enter that it's something, some thrill comes to me. But actually there is nothing. Okay, no ghost is there, nothing is there. But this alone it makes a lot of difference. So I do not know when. Probably vaccination will be over by this December. That is a guideline. Vaccination will be over by November, December. Definitely, that time all of you will be vaccinated. Then, but luckily I took both the doses. But even then, I have to take care of others also. Okay, when your turn comes, definitely go for the vaccine. Don't wait. Okay, that is one request to you. I think many of you have got, I think all of you are over 18 years of old, so you can go for the vaccination. Please don't avoid it. My request, please go for the vaccination. And hopefully that department I will see the department at the end of this year. Hopefully. Any other question? Follow. Any other question? Any other? Any question you can ask me. For the manufacturing, I think a lot of things you can do. Lot of things you can do. But being a mechanical engineer, at least in your the 4-year times, you do lot of things. Lot of ham work. That means do something by yourself and try to run it. I'm not talking about the software programming. You make a program and run it. That is not the work of mechanical engineers. You do something, some mechanical job, some mechanical tool, some mechanical machine, or something which will be most utilized in your society. You invent something, then go for manufacturing. Okay, that I expect from all of you. You should do something. Okay, any more question? Anything? Or shall I leave the program today?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Next
sir.
class, the next class. Before I go for the welding section, I will try to make you understand what is lock nut. If you understand it over here, that will be very helpful to continue with the other classes, theory classes. Okay, don't miss it up in the next class. Okay, probably that class, the next class I will take it on Saturday. Saturday, I am a little bit free, and also the net is also available. Okay, so next Saturday the same time. It's clear to all of you? Okay, but I expect please raise some question from your side. Okay, don't find that some silly question or some stupid question. It's not like this. There are a lot of things which may be unknown to you, but don't hesitate. Ask some questions. Okay, may not be related to the engineering what we are doing in this class. Maybe something else also. Okay, so see you. Hope you will be good night to all of you, but be better. You will be coming. Definitely, will find some better days in future. Okay, thank you all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.